Hello everybody, welcome back to the Beater Reviews. This episode, we're reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, let's just get right into this plot. Okay, the plot. The plot is one of my favorite parts to almost every game, actually. A good storyline never hurts anything, but the plot for the second game is fairly similar to the first game, but like Robotnik is taking over this island and stuff, but in this one he seeks the power of the 7th Chaos Emerald, which in the first game you collect 6 of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, but with the power of all 7 Chaos Emeralds, Eggman can power his Death Egg, which is a reference to the Death Star. But, yeah, so Sonic and his new friend Tails needs to stop Eggman before he can, get the Death Egg out there. So, yeah. Okay, so before we move on to the zones, there will be no gameplay section, and that's because the gameplay is basically the same as the first one, and there's not really anything different besides a couple new features, but that will be a little bit later down the line. But for the zones, the first zone is Emerald Hill Zone, and Emerald Hill Zone is pretty much like Green Hill Zone from the first game. It's pretty fun. It's your average level. But yeah, moving on is Chemical Plant Zone. And Chemical Plant Zone is it's like a mediumly hard level for being second level, but there's some pretty tough sections in it, and yeah. Moving on is Aquatic Ruin Zone. Aquatic Ruin Zone is pretty cool. There's, your average ruins, but it's kind of got like, what would I say that, like old ruins, I guess? Like an old ruins vibe. It's pretty cool though. But moving on is Casino Night Zone. And Casino Night Zone is pretty much Spring Yard Zone, but the perfected version of it. But your average Sonic Casino stage. But moving on is Hilltop Zone. Hilltop Zone is one of my favorite zones, and that's because you're on top of a hill, pretty much. But there's no real way to describe it though. But yeah, I guess moving on. Next up is Mystic Cave Zone, and Mystic Cave Zone is really weird. Yeah, you're in a cave, but the mystic part is definitely taking the cake there with how weird this zone can be. But moving on is the Hidden Palace Zone. Now, the Hidden Palace Zone isn't in the original Sonic 2. Hidden Palace Zone was added in the 2013 release of the game on mobile, but it's accessed through Mystic Cave Zone, like you fall down a pit and you go to Mystic Palace Zone, but nothing really too special there. But yeah, moving on is Oil Ocean Zone. It's just a really big oil factory. It's pretty challenging if you don't know where to go, and you can get stuck there pretty easily, but yeah, moving on is Metropolis Zone, and Metropolis Zone is very trial and error kind of level. It's very confusing at sometimes, but yeah, it's got really good music though. But moving on in Sky Chase Zone, and this you're flying, you play as Sonic on top of a plane and you fly through the air. It's a pretty fun level, but it can get annoying if you have to retry it over and over again. But next up is Wing Fortress Zone. Wing Fortress Zone is you're on a giant airship and there's hardly any ground anywhere, but yeah, it's pretty fun. And our final zone is the Death Egg Zone, and from here you go and you fight the final boss up on Death Egg. Like from the Wing Fortress Zone, Eggman escapes on his rocket ship, and you go and fight Eggman up in the Death Egg Zone. And that's not pretty much all for the zones. Okay, extra features, pretty much your extra features, but what I'm gonna do for extra features would be what's new from the first game, but yeah, starting up we have is the Spin Dash, and the Spin Dash is pretty cool. It's a great mobility item that you can use, and you get it right off the bat, so you don't have to unlock it or anything. But for the second extra feature is Supersonic, and Supersonic is a real tough task to get. What you have to do is you have to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and then after you collect all the Chaos Emeralds, you grab 50 rings, and then you jump, and then when you're in midair, just click the jump button again, and bam, you become Supersonic, and he absolutely breaks the game. And that's all for the extra features. Okay, so next up we have the bosses. So the first boss in the game is the Eggmobile Type D, and it's your basic boss. It goes side to side around the screen. And our next boss is Water Eggman. So he'll go and he'll pick up the poisonous water in Chemical Plant Zone and try to drop it on you. This boss is really frustrating and annoying. But moving on, we have the Tonkachi Eggman. And the Tonkachi Eggman he raises these totems out of the ground and hits the top of it with a hammer, and it will shoot an arrow out so you can climb the pillar and hit them from there. And next up we have Catcher Eggman, and Catcher Eggman, he's got a laser on the bottom of him, so you can only hit him from the side, but whenever you run underneath him, he'll drop a bomb. And next up we have Submarine Eggman, and Submarine Eggman, he'll pop out of the lava and shoot you, and then once he goes back down into the lava, he'll shoot lava bombs lighting the ground on fire. And next we have Drill Eggman 2, kind of like the first boss, but instead of just going like side to side, he'll go up through the cave and make rocks and stuff fall on you. And next up is Submarine Eggman 2, and this is like the first one, except he won't attack from the submarine. A laser will come out of the ground and shoot 3 lasers at you, and then he'll pop up, and then, well, right when he goes down, he'll throw almost like a spear at you. But moving on is Flying Eggman, and Flying Eggman will, fly around, but he has like these capsules floating around him, so every time you hit him, it will make a clone of him. And yeah, it's a pretty cool boss. But next is the Barrier Eggman. And Barrier Eggman, he traps you in a little area, and a laser will shoot down on you. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And next up we have Silver Sonic, or Mecha Sonic. It's pretty much just a clone of, like, a really bad clone of Sonic that Eggman created, and this is just a second to last boss of the game, but he can prove to be very challenging if you don't know his pattern. The final boss. Now, this is a new little area for the beta reviews, but the final boss is very unique. It's a pretty tough boss and a pretty epic end to Sonic 2. But like, he's extremely challenging. If you don't know how to time your jumps correctly or anything, you will die extremely quickly and have to hit that continue button. And I just like to point out, you can't get hit during this entire fight. So it makes it pretty challenging, but once you beat him, you get that amazing ending and it just feels so satisfying. The final boss. Now, this is a new little area for the beta reviews, but the final boss is very unique. It's a pretty tough boss and a pretty epic end to Sonic 2. But like, he's extremely challenging. If you don't know how to time your jumps correctly or anything, you will die extremely quickly and have to hit that continue button. And I just like to point out, you can't get hit during this entire fight. So it makes it pretty challenging, but once you beat him, you get that amazing ending and it just feels so satisfying.